Ancient soldiers, it's time to reform. It's time for us to get our life together. It's your favorite host, BOK. How you guys doing? I'm doing good from here. I've been enjoying myself recording this podcast. I've been having guests, so to speak, every now and then. And they've all did very well. They've all shared their stories. What inspired us? They inspired me personally. I don't know about you though. But I know many of my listeners who are sharing these reviews with me on social media and everywhere, they've said they were inspired by the stories of my guests on Get Your Life Together podcast. So I'll be doing this alone today. There's no guest today. Hopefully by next episode we'll have another guest on this show. And trust me, this show is for everybody though. Yes, this show is for everybody because I believe no matter how small your story is, it's going to inspire somebody, right? It's going to inspire somebody. So let's dive in. Let's dive in. Today, know it, do it, talk about it. Know it, do it, talk about it. So what are you supposed to know? What are you supposed to do? What are you supposed to talk about? Today is going to be about skill sets. It's going to be about you. It's going to be about your career. And I'm going to be doing a deep dive onto why you should know a skill, why you should do it, and why you should talk about it. So this podcast will be divided into three parts. I'll be dividing into the first part, which is know it. Yes. The next part is do it, and then the last part is talk about it. I'll be bringing in some stories to, I like stories there, to actually explain this thing in depth, and then right with me. Let's go. So let's begin with know it. It just starts with knowledge. Everything starts with knowledge. Everything starts and ends with knowledge. Knowledge is like accumulation of what you've known right from birth up to now. It's an accumulation of your skill, the people you've talked to, your business experience, your experience as a child, your experience talking to people and interacting with the society. That is your level of knowledge, right? Everything ends and starts with knowledge. We've been able to ascertain that fact that my people perish for the lack of knowledge. Okay, in that podcast I released that I called ignorance. Ignorance is valid, right? Ignorance is valid, but it can never ever excuse you. So moving ahead. Everything starts and ends with knowledge. In your choosing skill, in your choosing field, in your choosing career, everything starts and ends with knowledge. That's why Jordan Peterson says that you should know in and out of your skill. In your choosing field, become a master. Become a connoisseur of your craft. Be the judge, be the expert. Whether you're an entrepreneur, an artist, a professional. Knowing the in and out of your business, of your craft, it's what you should aim for. Jordan Peterson will always say that the importance of competence is because it can take you anywhere. Jordan always talk about the dominance hierarchy, right? It is the foundation of your life. How competent are you is the foundation of your life. It's what you can use at any point in time. Even if you lose your money. If you lose your money today, say something happens and your money is taken away, right? What do you think happens? Are you going to be dead? Are you done for life? No, because your competence, your craft, your ability to sing, your ability to do marketing, your ability to do sales, your ability to draw, your artistry competence is still there with you. Your vocal competence is still there with you. It's not done. And that is why every one of us in life, there's something we could do. There's a talent God has given to each and every one of us that can never die, regardless of whatever we are doing. It's now left for us to harness that talent, and that is why I'm saying know it. Many people lose confused. I've seen a lot of debate on social media around personal branding, and then how if you should do personal branding at the beginning of your career, or if you should not do personal branding. Now, you should do both. See, I'm not the type of person that will say things are black and white. Everything is not black and white. Nothing is black and white. It's always chaos and order, just like I've saying. There's chaos and there's order. And then both of these are interwoven, because for every chaos that exists, there's order in it. That's how you can create an order. For every order, there's always chaos waiting for you there. So personal branding and becoming very competent in your skill, which one should you do? Yes, being competent comes first. As well, personal branding can go on the side. I'll get there. Say for example, you just start your, I always use digital marketing because that's my career, right? I do digital marketing for majorly e-commerce brands, run ads for them and whatnot. But I'm talking about you. Let's say you are starting a digital marketing career. What should you do first? The first thing should be know it. Your aim should be knowing it. Many people are not competent. Let's see, many people, they are not competent at all. If you go to LinkedIn, you see a whole lot of people, they will come up with a long post, many followers, they have many followers and likes and everything. But mind you hire them and then they fumble. They fumble really hard. Because the moment you give them a platform, because the platform was built on what? It was built on deceit. I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story. And from this story, we'll be able to talk about knowing it, doing it, then talking about it. Story is the one I think I love that story in the book from Robert Greene. The story that begins in 1905. Rumors are started to spread all over Paris then that there's a young Oriental girl who danced in a private room, wrapped in veils that she gradually discarded. A local journalist who had seen her dancing reported that a woman from Far East has come to Europe from India with perfume and jewelries and everything, and she has introduced richness of the Oriental color and life into the saturated society of European cities. Soon, everyone wants to know the dancer, which her name is Mata Hari. Early in that year, in the winter, small and maybe selected audience always come around to watch her dance. They want to learn from her. They want to see her skill, her dancing skill. Rumors started going far and wide, up to Vienna, Milan, and everywhere. England, everybody wants to see that beautiful, young, elegant lady that could dance. Now, what happens? Then, her story started going around. She started doing interviews. She started talking to journalists. At every point in time that they ask Mata Hari about her background, she always comes up with different stories. My mom is this. My mom grew up in India. Then tomorrow, in another interview, she's going to say she grew up in India, this and that, and a whole lot of lies. But as time goes on, people started growing bored of her lies. They started questioning, who is she? Who is she for you? Will you believe it if I tell you that this lady that was invited to come and dance in Milan in the front of kings and queens, that was very, very popular all over Paris and Europe, with the aim, with a branding of, say, somebody that came from Far East, somebody that came from India, somebody with the color and, let me say, the elegance of India, the music of India, the dancing style of India. If I tell you that she's not Indian, she's not. But the story she's told, the public image she put out there, is the one everybody ran with. And then let me tell you her real name. Her real name was Margaretha Zilli, and she's from Holland. She's one of, at that time in Paris, they always bring ladies, they always bring young women to Paris. Some of them will serve as some of them will serve as prostitutes, some of them will serve as slaves, some of them will serve as waitresses and all. And then when they grow old, when they are done with their from their prime age, they will be shipped back to their local areas that they came from. So when Margaret got to Paris, she does not want to end up that way, just like everybody else. Then she started looking at, what can I do? What can I do to stay different? What can I do to not end like the crowd? What can I do to be spotted? and peaked and get attention. Then she started looking at it. Okay, I need to use the skill I have, which is the dancing and all. Then she started selling the story of India, the story people want to hear, the attention people want to hear. And that's how she won. That's how she became wealthy. Now let me tell you this. Let me tell you the thing I'm trying to bring out from this story. Number one, she couldn't have done all these things. She couldn't have sold a lie that she came from India if she does not know how to dance for you. Yes, she lied, she was deceitful, but meanwhile she could dance. In as much as she might not be the best dancer necessarily. Yes, she doesn't have to be the most beautiful in all of Paris. She's not. She was also beautiful. Number one, she's not the best dancer all over Paris, but at least she could dance. Number two, right? But every other thing that comes in was what? Personal branding. But it starts with knowing it. How much do you know your skill? How much can you dance? If they hire you when the crowd wants to go and see Mata Hari, when they call her for shows, she still gets them mesmerized. She gets them calling her names and shouting her names with her dancing skill, despite the lies that she's from India, despite the lies that if you are going to lie that you have a degree in digital marketing from Harvard. If you are being employed, are you going to represent that image? Can you represent that image you are propagating? That's why so many people are against personal branding over actually knowing the skill. Because many a time, the image you sell, you don't always have the capacity, the capability to back it up. You might have sold the image of the best programmer, the best software developer in Nigeria. But the moment you get hired, you fumble the bag. You can't sustain it. Why? You are not at that level. That is why the first thing that comes in play in your career is what? Knowing the skill. Knowing the skill. You are going to brand yourself, yes. You are going to see a whole lot of things. You are going to you'll be popular, you will be known. But it comes with the first step in that realm is knowing the skill, getting extremely better. Just like Jordan will say, how competent you are. Ask yourself, how competent am I on the scale of 1 to 10? Now, moving ahead to the next one, which is do it. Moving on to do it. Knowing is just the beginning. Yes, knowing is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you put that knowledge into action. In the words of Jordan Peterson, do not hide unwanted things under the frog. Embrace challenges, confront them, and apply whatever you've learned. Action transforms knowledge into competence. Yes, that's what I tell a whole lot of my mentees that you don't know marketing by watching videos. You know marketing. You get competent in marketing by doing it. You don't know the UI UX by watching the videos. You get to be competent in UI UX by doing it. You don't become the best programmer by listening to the best programmers podcast or watching them on YouTube. You get competent as a programmer by doing it. Doing is where the expertise come to life. Doing is where the real magic happens. Yes, there's this law in the book Outlier by Malcolm Gladwell. Yes. Malcolm Gladwell investigated that how much time and how much effort do I need to put into my craft before I become one of the best. And he was able to ascertain that you either put in 10,000 hours of doing it or you spend 10 years doing it. A decade. You can't escape it. Usain Bolt, he was running, and it was until after 10 years before he won his first Olympic medal. Tobi Amusan, she won her first Olympic medal after 10 years of when she started running. Cristiano Ronaldo, I think he started his career around 1990 something, and he won his first Ballon d'Or 2008, I guess. I guess 2008. It was after like 10-11 years of when he signed his first professional football contract in Sporting. You can't escape it. You can't escape it. You either put in 10,000 hours of drumming. You either put in 10,000 hours of programming. You either put in 10,000 hours of doing marketing. You either put in 10,000 hours of graphics design. You either put in 10,000 hours of plating that hair. You either put in 10,000 hours of mechanic work, or you spend 10 years doing it before you can become the best. Before you can actually say, I'm competent, I'm knowledgeable in this area, I'm knowledgeable in this skill, I'm a connoisseur of this particular career. That is it. You don't run away from it. You cannot avoid the time you're going to spend doing this. You cannot avoid the time. It's something that is sacrosanct, okay? It is there. Before you can become an expert in business, you might have spent 10 years in the business world. Look, I'm a farmer and I own a pig farm, which I have several people that has invested in that business. But before I got people to invest in that business, do you know what happened? It took me more than 3 years of experience. I lost close to 120 pigs before I could learn. You learn more from experience than when you read. That's why you see so many people on Twitter that are relationship experts. They are single. Yeah, a lot of relationship experts on X are singles. When you see somebody, most of the people that are loud about relationship on X, watch them very well. They are single. Because, and what they are pushing out there is more of theoretical work, theoretical things, what they read in books. It's not practical. Because the moment you are trying to practicalize some things you read, you will see the flaw in that theory. That is why most theory, when you write them on book, you go to the lab as a chemist or as a physicist. Before you can prove a law, it has to happen for you. It has to be practical. 2 + 2 can work on paper. Does it work in practical? That is it. So my brother, my sister, I want you to know that after knowing it, you have to do it. And that is where the magic happens. Spend more time doing it. The time you are spending on personal branding. Yes, you will do personal branding, which is the next one I'm going to, which I called talk about it. You will do personal branding. Don't worry about it. You will do it. You're going to create your own crowd by doing something different or doing something odd. That's how you create attention. You need the attention, yes. But let me tell you, you need to be able to do it. You need to be able to know it. There's one of my bosses in the tech world. Shout out to Temidayo. Temidayo is somebody I met when I was just moving into tech. And then Temidayo is an expert in building software. He's very good in building software. And one of the things I respect about Temidayo is it's an hard work. He works very hard. And I can say it's one of the people that I learned hard work from. But he also taught me something about attention, about going unnoticed. You don't stay in a company and be among the crowd. You need to separate yourself. You need to create attention. You need to be different. Let me tell you the story of Barnums. Barnums is one of the most popular people in America then. He's an entrepreneur. And one of the things that his boss did to him is this. They were trying to open is it a museum? No, I think it was a circus that they were trying to open. And then there was a guy called Every. The guy was convicted of, was not convicted of rape, but the public felt he should be convicted or something like that. And then Barnums was walking on the street with suit. Then somebody just making noise. That is Every. And then they moved mob on him, and then he wanted to lynch him and kill him. And Barnum was just trying to tell them that please. And then he told him that, okay, let me take you to the circus where I work. And then the mob followed him to the circus and everything. And then the circus was filled up. And he later knew that it was his boss that set him up for such crazy thing. And then his boss was now telling him that, look, That's how it works. I need attention. I need people to come and see what is happening in this cycle. And the best strategy for me is to what? Is to bring them in. Then that's why one of the best quotes, or one of the things that Barnum's always says, that whether negative or positive, what was my main ingredient of success is attention. The worst fate in the world for a man who yearns for fame, glory, and of course power is to be ignored. Don't be ignored. That's where I'm going to. It now taught me how not to be ignored. No matter the company I work for, I don't stay among the crowd. You don't stay among the crowd. Be separate. And the only thing that can make you separate is two things. You either do something different or you do something odd. Now, if you are doing something odd, it means maybe you are doing something bad. But I always go with this: do something different. And the only thing you can do, the only way you can do something different is when you are very, very competent. You get into that branch. Look at it. The former social media manager, before they hired me as a social media manager, what is that person doing? Okay, the person posts every day. The person got like 20 followers every week. The person does this. I liked the things the person has done. I liked what your colleague is doing. I liked their successes. Put them on, list them. This is it. As a social media manager, this person has been able to grow this page from 0 followers to 4,000 followers in 2 months. Now, for me to be different, for me to do something odd, for me to create my own attention, for me to get the attention of my boss, what do I need to do? It means I need to be able to grow more than 4,000 followers in less than 2 months. Yes, that's what you need to get into your head, and that is why you will be able to get to work. And the moment you get to work, you already know it. You have been doing it. It means you are confident you will be able to do that. And once you do that, you will get attention. Nobody's going to fire you. They are taking off, laying off. They are not laying you off. You are different. You are not among the crowd. You've been able to show that your impact helps you've been able to prove your impact on the downline of the company. Right? At the start of your career, you must attach your name and reputation to quality. And that is very, very important. Yes, what do they know you for? Me personally, I don't go for money. Although throughout my career, I don't go for money. It's never about money for me. It's about my reputation. Any business I lay my hands on, I want to transform that business. Any company I enter, I want to transform that company. It's about my reputation. It's about my image. It's about my name. I want you to hire POK and then your business I want to 10x your business. I give you my best. I give you my all to make sure that every e-commerce business I handle, I transform them, 10x them. I use every area of digital marketing, email marketing, SEO, digital art, content marketing, social media. I deploy every arsenal. That is what you should be doing as well. A company has been struggling with their product always break down, and they hire you as a programmer. The first thing you do is to lay it out. How many times did these people go down? How many things did they do? How many times did this app have errors? You list it out. The first thing you do is you fix them. You make your impact felt. What is the highest, as a salesperson, what is the highest revenue these people have ever, a salesperson has ever gotten in this company? Let's say it is $5,000, and then you aim for 10. You put in the work. Then the moment you hit $10,000, you solidify your impact in the company. When they are laying off, they are not thinking about you. God damn it. They're not thinking about you. You think they will think about you? No. You've been able to solidify your impact. Be different. Stop giving average energy. Stop putting in average. In any work you know you will not be able to put in your 100 and solidify your impact. My brother, my sister, don't take it. To spoil your reputation, to spoil your image. Yes, at every chance you get, make sure you solidify your impact and your image. And that's my message for you today. At the beginning of your career, at the start of your career, make sure your reputation is attached to, your name is attached to what? A reputation. And that reputation should be a reputation of quality. And that's why I'm saying that before you start putting yourself out there, before you start talking about it, just like I said, before you start doing personal branding, focus more on knowing it. Focus more on doing it. So that when you start putting content out there, when you start talking about your niche, when you start talking about yourself, the things that people will read from you, those things will ooze quality. Those things will show quality. People judge you with your appearance. Trust me, there's a particular appearance you give and people judge you with it. Better to create something ugly and something disturbing, the thought, than to just go unnoticed. No, it's not a good strategy. It's something that all these PR people do. You see some people, they will go naked on social media because they want attention. Some people are wearing pants and are only brown on social media because they want attention. Some men are only wearing boxers and you see their dick prints because they want attention. Some people constitute nuisance on social media because they want attention. No, you can get attention. Yes, you can drive attention, but you can drive it by doing quality work. There's a particular reputation that follows you. How do you want people to define that reputation? Do you want it to be of quality? Do you want it to be of good work? Do you want it to be of law and order? Do you want it to be of madness? Everything depends on you. It's all very easy to do. Say little about your work. Tease people. Allow them to figure the rest out. Yes, that's how you roll. You do quality work and you say, sometimes you downplay the effort. That's how some people roll. You see some people, they'll do some jobs for you. Let me say video editing, and then they'll run some crazy videos for you, and then they'll throw it out. Okay, this video, and you start saying, oh, this video, you must have put in a whole lot of work, and then they'll downplay it. They'll say, no, just like 5 minutes work. Yeah, and then you think in your head that it's 5 minutes. The day you want to do it, figure out how difficult it is, and then you give them more respect. Yeah, because you want to talk about yourself, because you want to do personal branding, my brother, you start talking too much. You don't talk too much. Nobody respects a loud mouth. You don't even, because when you overdo it, let me tell you, this personal branding and then this talking about your skill, when you overdo it, people will hate you. Yeah, people will hate you. Whatever success you're having in the company, it's not really done by you. Yes, I work with every company I go to, every company I work with my team. I'm a team person. I work with them wholeheartedly. I work with them. I make sure that I give credit to where credit is due. I'm a digital marketing lead for a company. And trust me, anytime I'm giving a report, I try as much as possible to talk about what my social media manager did, what my content creator did, what my SEO specialist did, what my content writer did, what my graphics person did. I'm going to make sure that anytime I'm giving reports, I give each and every one of them their credit. You don't just go on social media and say, oh, I'm a salesperson and I made like 30,000. No, now the product is good. That is why you were able to sell it. If the product is not good, do you think you as a salesperson will be able to sell it? No, you can't. You can't sell that much. How about you give credit that, oh, this product was good and it helped me sell more, so that people will happy. That's how you cultivate attention with respect. That's why you don't make enemies while doing personal branding, while talking about your work. Say small, say a little about it, touch it a little. Hey, this is what I did. Fine, I'm just doing it. And then be willing to expand knowledge. Be willing to teach people, so that they will not see you as greedy. When you know it. Let me tell you one thing. There's a friend of mine, Usman. I brought Usman to Get Your Life Together podcast before, and it's a first class student, right? He's the best graduate student in my set. He's currently in the US. I think he's done with his master's and all doing his PhD now, something like that. But you know something that I observe with Usman is Usman always do tutorial for us when we were in school. Some things we don't know, some things we don't understand. Usman, we always go to Usman. Usman is a very brilliant person. You know what Usman said? Usman said him doing tutorial for us, him trying to teach us, is a way for you to know that thing more. You know something, you gain 5% of information when you read about something. but you get 95% when you teach somebody about it. That's another hack so many people don't know on social media. Yes, so many people think people that are coming to Twitter space, S space, to talk about his skill, to talk about UI US, to talk about marketing. You actually think they are not getting something back, even if you are not paying them. They are, because the moment I teach you about ads, the moment I teach you about content marketing, the moment I teach you about social media management, I know it more. You gain 95% of information when you teach somebody about it, and gain 5% when you just read about it. So it's another hack. Don't be greedy with these things. Teach people, expand, be gracious as well, and watch out how you will go for in life. Of course, don't forget the purpose of this particular episode you just listened to. It's big. It's in threefold. The first and the most important thing, the primary thing, is knowing it. Focus on knowing it. Focus on knowing that skill, and then you move to doing it. Do it very well. Spend more time doing it. Of course, you know the rule. You need about 10,000 hours doing it for you to get very, very competent. For you to get to the level of Cristiano Ronaldo. Equate it. If you want to be the best in the world, if you want to compete globally, you need 10,000 hours. How many hours have you put in? Is it 500? Is it 200? Is it 300? How can you increase the amount of hours you are putting in? How can you cut off Netflix? How can you cut off distraction? Go listen to my episode on cut off distraction. So you will know that so many things that are distracting you are not worth it. You should cut them off. How can you cut them off? So that you can increase the time you are using to do that skill. Okay? Then you now move to the last part, which is what? Talk about it. Talk about it. You know, when Jesus Christ healed those lepers, he said you should go to the town and tell people about it. You go into the town, that's one of the biggest mandates for all Christians in the world, is to go out there and preach the gospel, tell people about it, preach about your skill, preach about your successes, but do it with wisdom, do it with integrity, do it with grace, and of course, you go way, way, way higher in your career. Okay? As I always say, my soldiers, take care. I'm out.